Hello, I was just sitting here. Hello, and welcome to the Millionaire Faith Show, clarifying your vision. So, sorry, I was just out here talking to myself, and Demetrius came to let me know that I was not live. But welcome, come on in here. Come on in here. As you come in, go ahead and write Skyrocket in the chat, okay? So, let me actually go back here. We'll leave it alone. So go ahead and write Skyrockets in the chat because that's what we're going to do tonight. We are going to teach you how to skyrocket your business using the Bible. So the Bible is my favorite business book ever. So tonight we're going to talk about the 3 ways you can use the parable of the talents to skyrocket your business. So hello, millionaires. Hello, welcome to Millionaire Faith and Moments of Clarity. I am Dr. Sylvia Jones, the Queen of Vision, and I am here to help you by improving your eyesight, focusing your finances, and clarifying the vision that God has for you. Tonight, I'm so glad that you could join me tonight. And once again, as you come in, go ahead and write Skyrocket in the chat. And like I said, tonight we're going to talk about the 3 ways that you can use the talents, the parable of the talents, to skyrocket your business and have amazing growth using the good old Bible. All right, so tonight, our first up here is that we are going to, the first thing that we need to do is we need to acknowledge our abilities. Acknowledge the resources that you have already been given. In the parable of the talents, there was a master and he had 3 servants. And he left those servants and went away, and he left them in charge of his property. The story says that to one of the servants, he gave 5 talents. To one, he gave 2. And to the other, he gave 1. But it also says that he gave it to them in amounts according to their ability. So I always thought that was interesting, is that he said it was according to their ability. So as a business owner, even if you simply are in charge of running your home, okay, you have to recognize that you have been given a certain amount of abilities. Many of you may say, okay, great, I know I have a lot of abilities, but it's a lot of people out there that actually wonder about their abilities or think that it's hard to figure out what their abilities are. I want you to understand today and recognize that if God has given you any sort of sense to own a business, then he has already blessed you with a tremendous amount of abilities. I recognize that God had given me abilities when I was young. And if you look at the screen, this is actually my family. So this is my husband, me, and my 3 kids, and my brother. He's actually my older brother by 14 years. And when we were little, we would play together. So he's 14 years older than me, and we would be playing at the table or whatever. He was my play buddy. But the thing about it was that every day, I would try to teach him new things. So I would try to teach him how to write his ABCs, how to write his name. I even tried to teach him how to do math. But unfortunately, when he was born, he actually suffered brain damage at birth and has a condition called cerebral palsy. So he was never able to walk, and he was never really able to learn very well. So I was able to go on. I went on to learn how to write essays. I went on to learn how to read novels and even study calculus, but he stayed in the same place. I've actually even seen my kids. So there's my little kid there. We've had new kids come in, and they've started to play with him and become the teacher. But the funny thing is, he does have abilities. He's able to remember songs and people's names way better than me. But what I realized at a very early age is that me and my brother had came from the same place, the same womb, but we had vastly different abilities. I decided at a young age that to honor my brother, I would never take my ability to learn for granted. As an entrepreneur, sometimes we take all of that for granted. Your ability to read, your ability to write, your ability to learn, your ability to do things. We just take it for granted. Even your ability to walk and to talk and for me to even stand on here, to be on here, to even figure out how to hook all this stuff together to be able to talk to you, that is an ability. And a lot of times we take those for granted. But I believe that as entrepreneurs, we are actually the guy with the 5 talents. It's time for us to acknowledge our abilities and to acknowledge our resources. If you can do, if you've been able to graduate from high school, if you have a college degree, if you've been able to own a business or even desire to own a business, I want you to write 5 talents in the chat. Okay, claim it. You are the 5 talents man. Go ahead and write 5 talents in the chat. Okay. Write 5 talents in the chat, because I think a lot of times we don't give ourselves credit for the amount of abilities that God has given us. So just an acknowledgement of my brother, and I love my brother, but he taught me so much. And he really taught me how to acknowledge my abilities. All right, let's go on to number 2. Number 2, what is the parables going to teach us here? The parables teach us not to be afraid. The parables teach us not to be afraid. So in the story, you find out that this guy is a guy that had 5 talents. Okay, so like you, I just said, write 5 talents in the chat. And what you find is that when he goes out, he actually makes 5 more talents. So he's able to basically double his money by trading or doing whatever he did. He got his little hustle on, I guess. Then we find that there's a second person that had 2 talents. He did the same thing. However, there was a guy, there's always one. He went and he actually buried his talents in the ground. And then when the master came back, he confronted him and said, hey, dude, what did you do with the money I gave you? This is just how I think it would win. And the guy says, I was afraid. I was so afraid. So I went and buried my talents in the ground. And the master actually called him wicked and lazy. And he says to him, the least you could have did was go and put my money in the bank so that I could get some interest. What we find is that fear keeps us from a lot of things. You can find yourself totally paralyzed with fear. You can be scared to post on social media. You can be scared to call potential clients. You can be scared to speak on a podcast or in front of an audience. I hear people all the time, they scared to even sell anything. I'm scared of sales. So how you gonna make any money? Many of us in business have been given a tremendous ability, but we are not growing because we are scared. Over here, you'll see this, okay? For a long time, I'm not saying I was immune to it, okay? I'm not immune to it. The only reason I'm able to teach you is because I have endured it myself. So forever, I was scared of any little thing. I was scared to, I was scared of what people would think of me. I was scared of just whatever. Like, I don't even know what I was scared of, actually. Recently, a friend of mine called me and asked me to help her with her finances. And I said, okay, what you got going on? And she told me, I admire you so. You are really doing your thing. You are so bold and courageous. And when I heard that, I almost chuckled because I said, who me? Who me? Because she didn't know, and most people never know how much struggle you go through to get to where you're supposed to be, how much work God has to do on you for you to be able to get up and to speak and to just live an authentic life. But I found the secret, okay? And the secret I discovered with fear is that it won't go away on its own. Oh my goodness, it will not. Actually, if you sit there in fear, it will actually get worse. And you can sit there and think about all the crazy mess that could possibly happen to you. The secret to getting over your fear is to actually move. It is to actually, you have to actually move into the fear. And you have to, this is what you have to do. You have to do it scared. All right. So in the chat, to everybody here, I want you to write, do it scared. Okay. You have to do it scared. So I was listening, I think it was T.D. Jakes in his book Soar. And in the book Soar, he talked about the eagle, the baby eagle. And in that book, the baby eagle, for it to learn to fly, and you know, an eagle is just meant to fly. So you can imagine, it would be a tragedy for a baby eagle not to learn how to fly. But I think that's the same way he thinks of us as entrepreneurs. So in the thing, the mother eagle flies up, got to go up real high. And for that baby eagle to learn to fly, that mama got to drop that eagle. Okay. So I found this picture, and I think that's the baby eagle there. But the mother eagle got to fly up real high and drop the baby. And the baby, as it's falling down, it's got to spread its wings and try to fly. And if the baby eagle is struggling, the mother eagle will swoop down, catch the baby. But the baby don't just get to, that was good. The mother eagle go back up and drop that baby again until that baby learns how to fly. And so you can imagine that the baby eagle is scared. Maybe even the mama is scared, but they understand that they have to go through the fear in order to learn how to fly. And so I said, Lord, well, I want to fly. Don't ask. You ask the Lord something and you'll get it. I said, Lord, I want to learn how to fly. I want to soar. I want to be able to soar, Lord. And I said, well, how many times I'm going to be dropped then? And he said to me, you're going to get dropped every day. Every day you're going to have to get dropped. Every day you're going to have to jump into the fear so that you can overcome it. But what I found is once I move into the fear, what the crazy thing that happens is fear turns into excitement. They feel very much the same, but it turns from fear to move to excitement to move forward. And that excitement is what leads you to success. So in the chat, like I said, number one, don't be afraid. You're going to have to write in the chat, do it scared. Do it scared. All right, our next point, number three here. Let me get over here. Number 3. Oh, that's not supposed to be a ticker. Go to edit that. Okay. Number 3 is be faithful over a little. Be faithful over a little. Get everything together. Okay. So the servant with the 5 talents went and he traded, and he was able to get more of the talents. And in the end, the master calls him a good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things, and I will put you over many. Later in verse 28, the master says to take the talents, he says to go take the talents from the guy that buried his, and actually give it to the guy that had the 10 talents. For everyone who has will be given more, and he who has abundance, and he will have abundance. Whoever does not have, even what little he has will be taken away. And I thought, wow, God, ain't that kind of cruel that you take the one little bit from the one guy and give it to the guy that had a lot? And I thought, even you could have just gave it to the middle guy, the guy that only had 4, and he would have had 5. Why, God, didn't you just spread it out a little bit to make it more equal? And what it seems to me is that God rewards excellence. If you want to move into what God has for you, No matter how much or how little you have to use what you have. For if you are looking for more, if you are wondering why God has not given more, you're going to have to do what I call a data check. Go take an inventory of your life. See what gifts and talents has he given you that you know that he gave you that you are not using. And then see how you're able to use those in your business. Maybe it's not even in your business. Maybe it is something that you add on. Maybe you're giving, you're helping out, you're volunteering, you're doing something more to build a kingdom. But you have to use all of those talents because, like I said, when he used all of his talents, he was given more. So that is the way that we are able to skyrocket our businesses. That is the way that we are able to do more. So me as an optometrist, I was sitting in my little optometry room, little dark optometry room. And at some point, I realized that I had more talents than what I was using. I was able to do graphics and videos. I had the ability to just to teach people about business. And I had found myself hiding in this little dark room. I felt like I had to see how I was going to be able to use my gifts more to build a kingdom. I had to leave that little dark optometry room and head towards the light. I had become too comfortable. So I was, whatever he has given me. So when I finally make it, so this is what in the comments, in the chat, what I want you to comment is use it all. We are given only a little bit of time here on earth. And I know it feels like we're going to be here forever, but that's not the case. But in the comments, I want you to write, use it all. So when you finally go up to the pearly gates, and this is how I feel when I finally go up to pearly gates and it's time for me to enter, I want to have used everything that God gave me. I want to have quadrupled every gift, every blessing, everything that he's given me. Every opportunity, every resource. If it's social media, I want to have used it. If it's TikTok, I want to use it. If it's writing, I want to use it. Teaching, speaking, training, leading. Whatever he gives me, I want to use it. And then if he gives me more, I want to use that too. And not only do I want to help build the kingdom with my efforts, I want to help others use their talents and gifts to build the kingdom too. So to close, to skyrocket your business, there are 3 things that you need to do. First is that you need to acknowledge and be grateful for the talents that God has given you. Second, you need to overcome your fear so that you can fully walk into your destiny. It says he has not given you the spirit of fear. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. It means that it may look scary but the shadow won't hurt you. You have to be faithful over the gifts. Number 3, you have to be faithful over the gifts and talents that you already have. Make sure that you are using everything that God has given you. And so that you can celebrate in the master's happiness and enjoy abundance. So, my dear friends, thank you so much. Tonight's episode of Millionaire Faith, Finding Clarity was brought to you by Violet Eyewear. And these are I'm just going to share with you, these are the Lawrence. They come in black, they come in blush tortoise, and they also come in this blue tortoise. So if you like, go over to violeteyewear.com. You can able to purchase, where you can do our buy one, bless one, where one is donated to someone in need. You can host a party and become a fly host. You can also look into joining the opportunity, so you can actually, if you don't have a business already and you're looking to start one, it is a wonderful opportunity for you to be able to start your own business, earning 25 to 35% commission. So until we meet again, go over to ViolentHour.com and get yourself a pair of God's glasses so that you can see yourself the way that God sees you. All right. Have a wonderful evening. Signing off, the Queen of Vision. Bye, everybody.